What's up, you guys? Thank you for clicking on this video. As you can tell by the title, Studio Series Dark of the Moon Q has been a topic of discussion in the Transformers community the last, close to a week now since he's been revealed at the time of this recording. And I just figured I'd make a dedicated video on this topic and figure, because I know a lot of people want to hear my thoughts on this. So, this Deluxe Class Q, he's been about 14 years in the making. We have been waiting for a regular mass retail release of Dark of the Moon Wheeljack for 14 years, since 2011. So what happened was the last or later waves of the Dark of the Moon toy line were canceled in early 2012, I think, because of shelf space, and there were certain things clogging up the shelves at the time. They were making too many Bumblebee figures, too many repaints, because back then they thought anything with the movies would sell, and then stuff started to slow down in terms of sales towards the end of Dark of the Moon. So they had to make some decisions. Transformers Prime toy line was coming around at the time as well. They were getting more product with the RID toy line and gimmick line that was launching at the time for Prime. Retailers needed more shelf space. Hasbro had to make a decision, and I guess they just cut out the last wave, or the last two waves maybe, of Dark of the Moon. I can't remember if it was one or two waves, but Human Alliance Soundwave was in that wave, Deluxe Class Soundwave, Deluxe Class Leadfoot, I think, as well, and of course Q here, which these figures did see a limited release overseas in Asia at the time, so American collectors were able to get it that way. But of course, if you didn't have the money, if you didn't know what website to use, you didn't want to pay the extra fees from overseas, you just missed out on these figures, and you had to pay aftermarket prices years later that are astronomical at this point. I mean, it's kind of gotten a little better over the years, especially if you're looking for those Soundwave figures with the Studio Series 1 and all that. But there was a time where you had to spend $200-something for a sealed Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Wheeljack. And, Human Alliance Soundwave was like 200-something sealed. It's gotten a little better nowadays, but it's still kind of pricey. I mean, you're paying a little over $100 for a sealed Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Wheeljack, which is insane. From that perspective, I'm really glad that this Wheeljack here is finally getting made in the Studio Series line. It's getting a mainline mass retail release here in the US and all across the world, basically, almost. So it just gives the option for a lot of collectors to get the figure when, the last 14 years you haven't been able to, and you have to wait for extremely rare eBay or Mercari listings for a figure that's between, if you want to get one loose, you're paying between $50 to $100, and if you want one sealed, you're paying between like $80 to like $150, depending on, just the luck of the draw, whoever lists it and however much the person lists it for. It could really vary. So it's been a long time coming, and for that reason, I'm really excited to get this guy, because I never was able to get the original. A couple of years ago, I did try and find it for a decent price, one that wasn't gonna break my bank, but I was unsuccessful, and I basically just gave up at that point. This was around like mid to late 2023, and especially since we got word with the leaked listings around that time that we were going to be getting a Dark of the Moon Studio Series Q. I basically just, waited, and the real reason of this video in question is it worth the wait? And I'm looking at these images online. Obviously, no one has it in hand yet. It was just revealed and put up for pre-order a few days ago. In terms of the robot mode, it looks a little cheap. Like the details, it feels like something you would see on a Scout Class figure from 2010, a $7 figure. So, I don't know, it's just interesting times to be a Transformers fan and to be a fan of the toys and product that Hasbro makes, because to me nowadays, more than ever, as I get older and as my taste and palette changes for product and quality and art and all these sort of titles that you want to put over this stuff, I really start to look at things a little bit differently. And for my younger viewers, either you guys are starting to understand me or you just don't understand yet. But I'm sure once you get older and around my age, you will. And a lot of my older viewers watching this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know, just something about this feels a little cheap for 25 bucks to me. I mean, I get it. The world is different. It's not 2008 anymore. These things have to transform, a lot of extra parts count, a lot of more new molds for a Hasbro line than usual when you look at something like Star Wars Black Series, G.I. Joe Classified, or Marvel Legends. It's a quite unique action figure brand on the market, especially for today's standards and what's usually conjured with an action figure line nowadays, which is a bunch of remolds and repaints, essentially, with a couple new molds a year. And with Transformers, you basically get probably like a dozen new molds a year, or maybe even more. Probably closer to 20 or just about 20 new molds a year. So it is very expensive for Hasbro, even though they do get things by the bulk. It is cheap for them. It's just a strange market altogether. But looking at this figure, I really think that it's going to be up to what the person is looking for. I mean, you put it next to all the other Studio Series Bayverse Deluxes we've gotten, like the Bumblebee molds, like Dino, Sideswipe, Ratchet. It's basically going to fit in line with what you usually would want from Studio Series Deluxe Class Autobot figures. But, I don't know, just something about it feels a little cheap and bland to me, especially in terms of the paint. I really feel like if there was more silver paint in those dull gray areas, it would have brought the sculpt out way more and would have just made him look better. Now, the type of gray plastic that they did choose, I will recognize, is better than the original one from 14 years ago. Like, that was more so like a weird gray color with a mix of green in there, which was kind of random. Even then, I don't know. And the accessories. Obviously, we gotta wait and see on some reviews and some more in-hand images, but the accessories look a bit more boring compared to what the original Deluxe came with. I mean, I know things are different again. It's not going to come with spring-loaded weapons and stuff. They don't do the mech tech gimmicks anymore. And these are obviously supposed to be a bit more screen accurate. But at the same time, I don't know, I feel like the accessories are going to be a bit boring. Now, I'm not sure how many he's going to come with. What does the official press release for this here say? I'm looking on Big Bad Toy Store. So I guess it's going to come with maybe like 3 accessories, which isn't too bad, especially for a modern day deluxe class nowadays. I do appreciate that there's no clear plastic for the vehicle mode. It's going to make for a much more sturdy figure. It's going to last over time, and it's not going to break so easily when you transform it. So I really do appreciate Hasbro doing that this time around for this deluxe class. I don't know, maybe I'm just being too picky, but he still looks great. Like, he looks super accurate to CG design. And he looks like he's going to be a bit more accurate than that original Deluxe. But when you look at that original Deluxe, especially for the vehicle mode, it looks a bit, I don't know, just something about it looks a bit kind of like Legends class-like, or Scout classy. But, I don't know, just something about it feels a little off for a $25 Deluxe in terms of the looks. Other than that, guys, I do think it is a great release, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be getting in a few months once it comes out this spring, along with Age of Extinction Optimus to see how he is as well. And I think War for Cybertron Ironhide is in this wave as well. I'm going to get him. Yeah, I think he's going to be a good figure, but just something about his look feels a little off, just judging by these internet images right now. But hopefully in hand, he's going to look a lot better, and these reviews do him justice. But right now, I think he's good. Obviously a great release for something that we've been waiting on for 14 years, but he does look a little off in terms of the details in the paint department, at least to me, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. How do y'all feel about this new Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Q? Do you think it's a great figure judging by these images, or do you not? All my social medias are linked down below, including my email if you guys want to hit me up about business inquiries, or if you want to message me about whatever, or if you want to commission a diorama from me, because I make dioramas for people for their stop motions, photography, or irregular display shelves in your homes. You can either hit me up on any of my social media accounts, or you could just email me and we can work out a deal. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye!